turnout all across USA. So with that, again, welcome everyone, welcome our panelists, welcome all the attendees. So I want to start and get into our topic with our speakers. I do have some questions, but if I see anyone has question, please feel free to chime in. So I will start with a very basic question, and any one of you can take the question, or we can hear from all of you. The question number one that comes to kids also all the time is, why follow Jainism? क्यों हमें जैन धर्म का पालन करना चाहिए? हम जैन तो बन गए, we are born in Jain families, but why we should follow Jainism? Who wants to start? Anupreksha ji?
Thank you so much. I would really appreciate if I could see the crowd too. You know, looking at yourself while speaking is a little, thank you. I can only see Nupur ji. I think I'll have to change my view.
Can everyone please turn their videos on so our panelists can answer, you know, otherwise if we have mostly kids, then they will answer it accordingly. If we have adults, then they will answer accordingly. Appreciate it, everyone. Bakul bhai, Ashish ji, Veena ji, Deepak ji, Pragya. Arpita ji. Yeah.
Yeah. We would really appreciate if all the videos are on so that it's an interactive session rather than just us speaking and, you know, going to no ends. And we are assuming as of now that there are kids, as mentioned by Nupur ji here, that there are almost 45 kids who have registered. So all our answers will be catering to kids until and unless there is something very specific which any adult wants to ask. And the question that Nupur ji started with is that why should we follow Jainism? That's a very, very nice question. If this question pops up in our head, I mean, we are on the right path. Because everybody in the world, they follow the religion that they are born in without asking questions. That's how we are born. We just think about it in that particular manner. And if this question comes to our mind, then yeah, we are on the right path, because whatever we are doing, we have to have logic in it. That's the reason why Jainism is called a scientific religion, because everything is backed up with logic. So the first thing that we are going to cater today is on why should we follow Jainism. Okay, we have known multiple religions. We from all our life, we keep on comparing all the religion, whether which is correct, which is not. Why should we follow something which we are following? The only one reason that I would give you to follow Jainism is because this is the only religion which is a Vitrag religion. I hope everybody understands what is Vitrag. Vitrag means where there is no rag. And when we say where there is no rag, it includes that where there is no dvesh. Now, why is having no rag important? Okay. Now let's take it in a very simplified manner.
What does Vitrag mean?
Yes, I'm going to come to that. Who asked this question?
That's Mahi.
Mahi. Good. Very nice question. I'm going to come to what Vitrag is. We're going to take it from multiple examples. Okay. Everybody knows what rag is? Yes. Most of you know what rag is. When we like someone and when we want to have it. Very nice. Yeah. How do you do that? That is called rag. All right. Now, what do we mean by Vitrag? Let's take it in a very different manner. Okay. I actually started with that whatever paap that we ever do, what is the reason behind it? Let's start with krodh. Krodh is a paap. Everybody, getting angry is a paap. Okay. So when we get angry, what is the reason behind it? The main reason. I want an answer from you. I just don't want to keep on speaking. Yes, Krish.
It's usually when we want something and we don't get it, or we don't like something.
Very nice. When we want something and we don't get it. So when we want something means that when we have rag towards something and we want to achieve it and we can't achieve it, we do krodh. When we want a toy and we tell our parents and our parents don't let us buy it, we do krodh, because that is the only thing that we can do. Okay. I'm going to run very fast because there are so many other people also who want to speak on this. Let's go to man. Man is also a paap. When do we do man? What's the reason behind doing man? Yes, Krish, go ahead. It's going to be a discussion between me and Krish because no one else is responding.
Because we want something or we feel good about ourselves. Sorry,
I couldn't get you.
We feel good about ourselves.
When we feel good about ourselves, we do man. When we achieve something, so when we like whatever we are doing or when we like what we have achieved, we do man. Okay. When do we do mayachari? When we want something and we can't get it in the straight line, we do mayachari and we try to get it from however possible, in whatever means possible.
Man means to do marichari, right?
Man means pride. And mayachari means slyness, or getting, when you don't get something in a straight way, you try to get it by lying yourself in. So that is mayachari. And fourth is lobh. Lobh is obviously because of rag, when we like something and we want it. Now let's go to hinsa. Hinsa is also a paap. When do we do hinsa? Yes, Mahi.
Like when we hurt someone.
Yes, when we hurt someone. Why do we hurt someone?
To make ourselves
Excuse me?
feel good.
To feel good. All right. Let's go with an example of people who eat non-vegetarian food. Okay. You hurt someone. When do you eat a non-vegetarian food? When you like it or when you hate it? When you dislike it. If you like it, you go ahead and you want it. That's the reason. That's the time when you do hinsa. Okay. When you want something and your little sister is not giving you, then you go ahead and hit her and you want to snatch it from her. Okay. So hinsa is also done because of rag. Let's say when do we tell a lie? Jhoot kab bolte hain? When we want something and we are not getting it in a straight line. Let's go with chori. Chori kab karte hain? When we want something and we are not getting it. Kushil. Kushil is obviously rag. And parigrah. Parigrah is also rag. So whatever paap, if you actually see, all the paap that we do, that is because of rag. And once this rag is gone, all the paps will go. And the only religion which talks about vitragta is Jainism. Until and unless this rag goes, we cannot do anything in our life. That is the reason why we should follow Jainism.
Yep. Very well explained, Anupreksha ji. Thank you so much. So I think you all understood the main key point is Vitaragta, which is said in Jainism, which is everything. Rag is this and Vitaragta is on the one side. So that brings me to the next question, and I will ask this to
but what is Vitaraga mean?
So Mahi, this is going to be a question answer session. So if you have a question, can you please type it in the chat instead of this is not a class format because we have multiple speakers. So let's type our questions in the chat if that is okay with everyone. All the kids are okay with that? So our speakers, what they can do is they will see your question and they will try to incorporate the answer in their talk. Instead of asking in between, let's type it in the chat. I think that will work better. Okay. So I was going to ask the next question to Aradhya ji. So we know that Jainism is something that we should follow because we want to become Vitarag. But what makes Jainism different from other religions? Like if you look at a lot of kids here know about Christianity, they know about Hinduism, but what makes our religion, Jain religion, different from other religions?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I'm going to answer this in a very, very selfish manner, to be very frank. If given a choice and I have to choose which religion to follow, then what are the criteria for me to identify and choose a religion? So first criteria for me will be that which religion will show me the path to salvation, or to be in a very layman language, which religion will help me to achieve happiness. That is the one on which I will be focusing on. Now, if you compare among multiple religion, you will understand that this is a religion which not only tells you the path to salvation, but at the same time, it tells you that yes, you yourself can become a god. In few of the other religion, they would say that, okay, you just need to follow the god. You cannot become a god by yourself, or you are a part of something bigger. So there are multiple other areas by which they will, by which the option over there is not to become a god by yourself or to achieve the salvation by yourself, but on a different angles. Over here, when they are talking about, see, from the time we are born, whatever we are doing, whatever studies, whatever activities we are doing it for a single objective: to be happy. Why do we want to earn? To lead a happy life. So now when my objective is to be happy and there is a religion which is talking about happiness, that is something which I'm going to follow. Now, when I'm talking about that Jainism is a religion which is just talking about happiness. So now first criteria for me is to evaluate the speaker. So the gods or whoever the person is speaking about or giving us the direction, I'm going to evaluate their qualities. And when I see those qualities, those are the three main basic qualities of any god of a Jain religion is. I'm giving their terminology in Hindi language. I will be explaining the same in English also. Vitaragta, Sarvagyata, and Hitopdeshi. Vitaragta was explained by Anupreksha ji. Vitaragta is basically the quality that they are over any kind of attachment or aversion with any person, which means that for me, I have got no friendship or likeness for a particular person or enemy or a dislikeness with another person. I am going to be neutral with everybody. So that means that if I am neutral with everybody, then whatever I'm going to say or teach, that is going to be neutral. There is no possibility of me saying anything which is either harmful for you or in any way. So you would say, okay, I understand ki, if I have a disliking for you, then obviously I'm going to misguide you. But how does it matter if you have a liking for me? That is good, right? No, that is not good. If you are in a class of student in which the teacher has a liking for a particular 5 students, what are they going to do? They're going to favor those 5. If they're going to favor those 5, that also means that they are not going to favor you. So having liking or disliking of any kind is not at all something which I would look forward to in my God. Second thing, if there is somebody who is going to give me the direction, then that person should be knowing it. He needs to be omniscient. He should know each and everything. Will you go and learn from somebody who himself doesn't know about it? So the second most critical is that he should know everything. He should be omniscient and he should have achieved the salvation by himself. And the third and most important thing, see, even if I know everything, even if I can give you the direction, even if I have achieved it, whatever lecture I am going to give you, it should be helping you in that particular direction. It should not be just any kind of a gyan or knowledge session. It should be pinpointing you or directing you to the in the correct direction. So which means hitopdeshi. Hitopdeshi is a combination of 2 words, hit plus updesh. Hit means something which is a beneficiary for you, and updesh means your lectures or your knowledge or your sessions. So these
What
are
does
the
hit
3
mean?
qualities.
What does hit mean again?
Hit means beneficiary, beneficial. Anything which is beneficial for you. So any particular person or any God who does not have these 3 qualities, for me, that particular God is not a God for me to follow. If they have got these 3 qualities in them, then obviously I would like to follow them. Second and most critical element which differentiate between Jainism with any other religion is Jainism don't ask you to follow a particular God. Jainism is not going to tell you to follow Mahavir ji or follow Adinath Bhagwan or follow a particular God. It is telling you to follow the key qualities or to follow the path on which they have any God or any person has walked on to become a God. So the focus is crystal clear. You need to focus on those areas which you need to, which will help you to achieve your objective. It is not that you are, see, when I'm telling you that, okay, you need to follow a particular person, then you are going to, all your focus is going to be on the characteristic of that particular person. But when I'm asking you to follow a particular qualities, it give you much more clarity. In case if in the character of a particular person, there are some kind of a weakness, I'm not asking you to follow that particular person. So you need to root it out, or you need to weed out those weaknesses. You need to focus on those qualities which you need to learn. So these are the few of the key elements which I would consider and which differentiate Jainism with other religions. There is another aspect which is Anikantavad or Shadvad, which means that each and every thing or each and every concept or each and every element, there is multiple angle of perspective to it. So when you are looking at myself, who am I? Am I a father or am I a son? What do you think, Mahi?
Yeah.
Am I a father or am I a son?
I don't know.
Okay, so your mother, is your mother only a mother or is she also a daughter?
It's a daughter also.
But how can that be possible? See, mother and daughter, they both are exactly opposite, right?
Mm,
So how can a person be a mother and a daughter at the same moment, at the same time?
because my because the mother of mine was born from her parents.
Very well answered. So what you mean to say is that from the perspective of her parents, she is a daughter, and from the perspective of her kids, she is a parent, she is a mother, right? So that means that through the same person, if you look at from a different perspective, you will be able to see different qualities. Although those qualities may seem as in the opposite direction or conflicting with each other, but from a different perspective, all of those qualities can be found in the same person. Am I right?
Mm.
So for example, if I say that the same person is a mother and a daughter, how can that be? Both are conflicting, right? But when I look at it from a parent's angle, your grandparents' angle, yes, she's a daughter. So from that perspective, that's correct. From the kid's perspective, she's a mother. That's also correct. So I would prefer a religion which is going to focus on all the elements from different perspective. If I only focus on the your mother's quality from the point of view of motherhood, then I will be missing so many critical qualities of her. Like she's a sister, she's a wife, she is a mother, she may be a professional, she will be a homemaker. So there are so many multiple different perspective of her qualities of her life which I will be missing on.
Mm.
So if I need to have a complete picture of who your mother is, I need to look or understand your mother from different perspective. Similarly, if I want to understand my soul, I need to look at my soul from different angles, different perspective. So I want a religion which is not only stuck on a single perspective, but they are looking at the soul from multiple perspective.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
so
Aradhya ji, yeah, I think you have covered it really, really well. So if I can pinpoint if I was listening or not, kids tell me. I think Aradhya ji said about the three qualities of our Vitragi Bhagwan, the Vitrakta, the Hitopadeshi, and Sarvagyata. But then the key important thing that he said that why Jain religion is different from other religions is because first, we don't have any God and we believe in we ourselves becoming God. And then the last one he covered was Anekantvad, which is respecting different viewpoints. Just to let you know, I will get to you, Pratiti ji, now. And I actually had a question in my mind, but the audience are getting really excited. I already have two questions from audience. So let me ask their questions first, and then I will get back to my question. I was thinking that how following Jainism will impact our day-to-day life. But before I ask that, there is a question from one of the kid, and the question is, in Dukham Dukham, all Jain knowledge will be lost. By the way, some of these kids are actually deep knowledge, they have deep knowledge about Jainism, and they participate in Jain academic ball as well. So the question is, in Dukham Dukham, all Jain knowledge will be lost. So how will the knowledge come back in Dukham or Sukham, etc. in the Utsarpini cycle? Pratiti ji, would you like to take it?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you for inviting me here for this discussion panel. And it's my pleasure to answer the questions you all have regarding the Jainism. Actually, this is the time to know Jainism as we have passed from a time of pandemic where we have lost many things, where we have regained this knowledge that actually everything is temporary and nothing is in our hands. So, which is the path which we should follow, which can give us the positivity and which can give us the right path where we are going? As the question I got, when in the Dukham Kal, that the period where everything is destroyed, nobody can save their life, and actually this situation only happened in the particular part of area and not the whole world. As we all know that this whole world is divided into three parts: the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world, which we call it Urdhva Lok, Madhyalok, and Adholok. So, who lives in the upper world? The Dev, the heavenly beings. They live in the upper world, and nothing can destroy the upper world. Nothing changed in the upper world. Similarly, in the lower world, also nothing changes in the Dukham Kal. When we talk about the Madhyalok, in the Madhyalok also, the Madhyalok is also divided into many lands and many oceans. We live in the first land that is called Bharat Kshetra, right? In the Jambudweep, the Jambudweep island we live in, and in Jambudweep island we live in the Bharat Kshetra. Similarly, we have six more kshetra, six more lands we have, but the changes of the period only happens in the Karma Bhumi. The lands are divided into two parts: the Karma Bhumi and the Bhog Bhumi. Now, what is the difference between the Karma Bhumi and the Bhog Bhumi? Karma Bhumi is that land where you have to do something to earn your livelihood, to earn your food. For your livelihood, you have to do something. So, karma means to do, to work. And in Bhog Bhumi, you don't have to do anything. There are many kalpa vraksha, there are types of trees which give you anything you want. So they don't, the people of Bhog Bhumi, the people of Bhog land, we can say, where they have only have to, take the pleasures. They only have to use the pleasures and they don't have to do any livelihood for their food and shelter or their clothes. So this changes of period only happens in the karma bhumi and not in the bhog bhumi. So when we have this question that after Dukham Kal, the Jainism also lost, nobody will remember the Jainism. So actually only this happened in the karma bhumi. The Jainism resides in the Bhogbhumi. The Jainism resides in the heavenly world, the Swarg, and in the Devgati. When we talk about the Karma Bhumi, where after Dukham Kal, whole the land is destroyed, nothing remains for us to live, no living beings remain, they all die. But even after that, there are, with the help of the heavenly beings, some couples are being saved, and they are being saved in a cave of Vijayardh Hill. There is a cave in Vijayardh Hill where the heavenly beings help them, some human beings, and they too in the couples. Some couples are being saved by them and they are being taken in the caves of Vijayardh Hill where they remain safe and they remain there for the time until the whole land is being refreshed again. And it's the good time to tell you this thing. Why do you know why do we celebrate Daslakshan Parv only in this particular period of time? Why the Daslakshan starts from the particular period of time? So actually, after the Dukham Kal, what happened? How this land destroyed? So there are many types of 7 types of heavenly rainfall happen in the Karma Bhumi, like the rain of fire, the rain of storm, the rain of stones, in this way, and which destroys this land. Afterwards, what happened? After the bad rain stop, the good rainfall happened, and this good rainfall, this calm the whole land, this pacify the whole land, this cools down the whole land, and after that, those couples who were being saved by the heavenly beings, they were taken out. They came out. Now they have to start their life afresh. And on which day they start their life, that is the day we start that is the starting day of this Lakshan. Do you all know this? Anybody knows this? That why the Daslakshan starts from the Panchami. So this is the very first day when those couples from the Vijayard Hills, they were taken out. They came on this land and they want to start their life. Now, when you start your life, like, why do we celebrate our birthday? Because we think that that is our first day, right? That is why every year we celebrate our birthday. When we like, if we have a housewarming, we have a new home, and we are doing the housewarming celebration or rituals. From which thing we start our housewarming, or very anything when we start, with which we started? With religion, with our dharma, by remembering our God. We start any good thing, any beginning when we do of any work of our house, uh, anything we want to start, we start it by remembering our God. So that is why when those couples came on this land and they want to start their life, they started with the dharma. They started with the religion. That is why they start it with the celebration of this Lakshan Parv. So don't worry about this, that how after the Dukham Kal, when everything is destroyed, then the Jainism also, we all forget the Jainism also. Then how do we come to know again about the Jainism? First of all, we have to think about this. What is Jainism? What is Jain religion? Actually, uh, the Jainism is the nature of the substance, and the nature of the substance can never be destroyed. It can never be forgotten. What is the nature of fire? The nature of fire is to burn. Now, which calamity, which pandemic can take this nature of fire from it? Nobody and nothing. Similarly, nothing can destroy or destroy the religion, and nothing can make us to forget the religion, because religion is nothing but the true nature of each and every substance. So don't worry about it. This Jainism is from time eternal, and it will remain till eternity. No, nothing can destroy it. Nothing can make us to forget it. Okay.
Thank you, Pratiti ji. That was very well explained. I learned something as well new. So I hope you all learned. And the important thing to remember there is not only Jainism, but this world will never be destroyed, right? So it will come back, and Jainism is definitely eternal. The knowledge is eternal, because what Jainism talks about is the eternal nature of substance, and the substance, or the dravya. I think some of the kids have learned this. So I have some more interesting questions also from audience and also in my list, but I think it is time for Aarti. So I would like to request all of you to stay here, don't leave, and keep thinking about your questions. But I think Narenji or Bakul Bhai can tell me if it is time, because I don't want to start another question and then be late for the Aarti. So
we still have about 3-4 minutes to go. I see Bakulji has already reached there, but I have not seen Amrish Bhai log in yet. So let him coordinate that part. It might take another, as I said, 3 to 4 minutes. So Probably a short question.
Okay. So I will leave this question. I have a question from one of our audience, but I think that's a very interesting question. So I want to leave it for later. Let's see. A quick question could be, and any one of you can take it. How Jainism is a scientific religion? How can we prove that it is actually a scientific religion? Who wants to take it? Looks like Aradhya ji. Okay.
So just right now, like Pratiti said, Jainism is a religion which focuses on the nature or the by default setting of any particular substance. Okay. Now, when we are talking about scientific, what is the parameter or benchmark of being scientific? How do you, what is the definition of scientific? How would you say that something is scientific and something is not? If you Google it, you will realize that anything which can be explained logically and anything which can be researched on or anything which is there as a fact will be covered as a scientific. Now, if I want to say that something is scientific, then what will be the best alternative than its own nature? If you want to conduct a research on fire, what are the things that you will discover about it? Will you discover that fire is cold? Will you discover that fire is something which does not burn? No, right? You are going to discover the nature of that fire. You are going to discover the by default setting, the by default characteristics, the natural qualities of that particular substance. The qualities which I am referring over to are those qualities which is there of that particular substance without any influence or impact of any third element. So those are the things which a science try to uncover. Having said that, if Jainism is already focusing on it, then there is a clear-cut alignment between Jainism being a scientific religion. So this is I have explained this on a conceptual level. Now let us evaluate any key concept of Jainism and cross-check whether this concept which I have given you is valid or not. So I will take first thing is the qualities of the soul. So as per Jainism, what is a living being? Any living being is that substance or that element which has got key element as knowledge of it. The one which experience or which have got the characteristic of experiencing things. Now that means that Jainism has been saying that plants are living being from the start. If you pick up any grantha, they have always said that plants are living being. But do you know that only recently science has agreed and accepted that plants are also living being? Initially, if you go back to 200, 300 years back,
Jai Jitendra,
Yeah.
we have to pause this and we have to start the Aarti. So excuse
Okay.
us.
Yeah. Okay, Bakul bhai.
Okay.
Yeah, Radhe ji, we will start again. Everyone just let's participate in Aarti. And then we
Bakulji, I
will
am waiting for
continue.
Amrish bhai to start up so that we get the proper video.
Yeah,
आपका
I
video
know, but
इतना सही नहीं आ रहा.
okay. Amrish bhai, you can start. You have to accept it. He says he's already started.
तो किस नाम से शुरू किया है इन्होंने? I don't see him.
No, I think he went to the temple.
Yeah, but oh,
वो टेम्पल वाला है ना उसमें
पर उन्होंने अपना वीडियो शुरू नहीं किया है.
वीडियो शुरू नहीं किया आपने.
शुरू ही है मेरा, तो आप मुझे लो, मैं ही signing on.
सॉरी, क्या बोले मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया आपको.
वीडियो इज ऑन ही से.
नहीं, I don't see him. I think
It's on video, man.
वीडियो इज ऑन. इट सेज
Bakul, it is your video. It is not temple
बकुल जी
video.
आपका वीडियो है, उनका मतलब अमरीश भाई का वीडियो ऑन नहीं है.
अरे ऑन है मेरा वीडियो, Zoom पे मैं ऑन हूँ.
आप किस नाम से ज्वाइन करे हो? पाठशाला 17 के नाम से?
अरे पाठशाला नहीं, जो आपने लास्ट कल आपने किया था ना, वही.
नहीं, पर आप क्या नाम से ज्वाइन किए हो? मेरे को नहीं दिख रहा आपके
पाठशाला
वीडियो
नाम
में.
से करो.
हाँ, अमरीश नहीं.
ओके, कौन से नाम से करना है?
वो तो अमरीश भाई को मालूम होगा ना कौन से नाम से ज्वाइन किया है, बिकॉज आई कांट सी अ वीडियो.
ओके, द आईडी ही हैज इज 8220915430 5430.
नहीं, वो वाला नहीं. ये तो अपना वाला जो मैंने आपको भेजा था लिंक, वो आपको आईडी भेजा था ना.
नहीं, वो आपने मुझे भेजा है, उसको कर दूं?
जी बिल्कुल, वही उसी से ज्वाइन करिए.
Okay, here you go. Try this one.
हाँ, कोई तो
No, try this one. This is one.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, 1 second.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Yeah, this is one pass. Right. 852. 852 0036 0036 61 617 9.
Is it okay if I leave? I have school tomorrow.
Password 0.
No, Mahi, it will just be another 15-20 minutes if you want to stay.
I need to go. I have to go. Jai Janand.
Okay, Mahi, you were the most studious kid. Jai Jinendra, if you have to leave.
Jai Janand.
Okay, आ गया?
Yeah.
Not yet. हाँ, अभी आ गया. बिल्कुल, we are ready for the आरती.
Yes, yeah. Okay, just 2 minutes.
जी.
नरेंद्र जी, सबका म्यूट करना फिर बाद में. ओके.
Yeah, everybody, if you can mute your. नहीं, everybody is muted, so सब सही है.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. नमो हरत सिद्धाचार उपाध्याय सर्व साधुभ्य. जय जय आरती आदि जीनंदा नाभिराया मारु देवी को नंदा. पहली आरती पूजा कीजे नर भव पामीने लावो लीजे. दूसरी आरती दीन दयाळा धूळेवा मंडप मा जग अजवाळा. तीसरी आरती त्रिभुवन देवा सुर नर इंद्र करे तोरी सेवा. ચોથી આરતી ચૌગતી ચૂરે મન વાંચિત ફલ સુખ પૂરે પંચમી આરતી ઉપાયા મૂળ ચંદેરુ સબ ગુણ ગાયા જય જય આરતી આદિ જીણંદા નાભિરાયા મારુ દેવી કોનંદા મંગળીઓ નમો રત સિદ્ધાચારુપાધ્યાય સર્વ સાધુભ્ય દીવો રે દીવો પ્રભુ મંગલિક દીવો આરતી ઉતારણ બહુ ચિરંજીવો સોહામણું ઘેર પર્વ દિવાળી અંબર કેળે અબળા બાળી દીપાલ ભણી અને કુળ અજવાળી ભાવે ભક્તિ વિઘન નિવારી દીપાલ ભણી અને કળી કાળે આરતી ઉતારી રાજા કુમાર પાળે અમ ઘેર મંગલિક તુમ ઘેર મંગલિક મંગલિક ચતુર્વિધ સંગને હોજો દીવો રે દીવો પ્રભુ મંગલિક દીવો આરતી ઉતારણ બહુ ચિરંજીવો નમો રત સિદ્ધાચારુપાધ્યાય સર્વ સાધુભ્ય અધહર શ્રીજીન બિંબ મનોહર 24 જિનકા કરો ભજન આજ દિવસ કંચમ સમોગ્યો जिन मंदिर में चलो सजन नवन स्थापना सहस्त्र नाम पढ़ अष्ट विधाचर पूज रचन जय माला आरती सुरस्तवन सवन सामायिक त्रिकाल पठन जय जय आरती सुर नर नाचत अनहन दुंदुभिबाज भजन रत्न जडित कर स्थान मनोहर ज्योति अनुपम धूम्रत जन ऋषभ अजित संभव सुखदाता अभिनंदन के नमो चरण सुमति
प्रभु अभिनंदन के नमो चरण सुमति पर
प्रभु ने सुमरम पुष्पदंत शीतल श्रयांस नमि वासु पूज्य भवतार तरण विमल अनंत धर्म शांति जिन कुंथुम अरहंत जन्म मरण अरुमले मुनि सूरत नमि नेमि पार्श्वनाथ अष्टकरम नाथ वंश उन्नत कर सप्तम अंतम सम्मति देव शरण समवसरण की अगणित शोभा बार सभा उपदेश धरण जीव उद्धारक त्रिभुवन तारक राय रंक की राख शरण तीर्थंकर गुणमाल कटंकर जाप जपो नित्य करो कथन देव शास्त्र गुरु विनय करो ने तीन रतन का करो जतन मूल संघ पुष्प गच मंडन शांति सेन गुरुपाद रचन भविजन भावे शिव सुख पावे बगेरवाल कहे लाड रतन अदहर श्री जिन बिंब मनोहर 24 जिनका करो भजन आज दिवस कंचम समोभ्यो जिन मंदिर में चलो सजन तुभ्यं नमस्त्रिभुवनातिहराय नाथ तुभ्यं नमः क्षितितला मलभूषणाय तुभ्यं नमस्त्रिजगत परमेश्वराय तुभ्यं नमो जिनभवो दधिशोषणाय दद्युजलाक्षत मनोहर पुष्पदीपे पात्रापितं प्रतिदिनं महताण्डहिरणं त्रैलोक्यमङ्गलसुखालय कामदार मारांकित तव विभोरवतारयामि बोलो श्री महावीर स्वामी भगवान की जय ऋषभदेव भगवान की जय पार्श्वनाथ भगवान की जय शांतिनाथ भगवान की जय नेमिनाथ भगवान की जय 24 तीर्थंकर भगवान की जय जिन शासन देव की जय આવ્યો શરણે તમારા જીનવર કરજો આશા પૂરી અમારી નાવ્યો ભવ પાર મારો તુમ બિન જગમાં શારલે કોણ મારી ગાયો જીન રાજે આજે હર્ષય ધિકથી પરમ આનંદકારી પાયો તુમ દર્શનાસે ભવ ભય ભ્રમણા नाथ सर्वे अमारी भवो भव तुम चरणोनी सेवा हूँ तो मागू छु देवाधिदेवा सामु जुओ ने सेवक जाणी एवी उदय रत्न निवाणी जिनेर्भक्ति 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 दिने दिने सदा मेस्तु सदा मेस्तु सदा मेस्तु भवे भवे उपसर्गा क्षम्यन्ति चिघ्नन्ते विघ्नवल्लय मन प्रसन्नतामेति पूज्यमाने जिनेश्वरे सर्वमंगल मांगल्यम सर्वकल्याण कारणम प्रधानम सर्वधर्माणम जैनम जयति शासनम जैनम जयति शासनम बोलो श्री महावीर स्वामी भगवान की जय
प्रभु पतित पावन मैं पावन चरण आयो शरण जी यो विरद आप निहार स्वामी मेट जामन मरण जी तुम ना पिछान्य आन मान्य देव विविध प्रकार जी या बुद्धि से तीन जन जान्यो ब्रह्मगिन्यो हितकार जी भव विकट वन में कर्म वैरी ज्ञान धन में रोहर्यो तब इष्ट भूल्यो भ्रष्ट होय अनिष्ट गति दर तो फिर्यो धन गड़ियो धन दिवस योई धन जन्म मेरो भयो अब भाग्य मेरो उदय आयो दरस प्रभु जी को लख लयो छवि वीतरागी नग्न मुद्रा दृष्टि नासापे धरे वसु प्रातिहार्य अनंत गुणयुत कोटि रवि छवि को हरे मिट गयो तिमिर मिथ्यात मेरो उदय रविया तम भयो मोर हरख ऐसो भर्यो मनुरंक चिंता मणि लयो मैं हाथ जोड़ी नमाऊं मस्तक विनवू तुम चरण जी सर्वोष्ट कृष्ण तिलोकपति जिन सुनो तारण तरण जी जाचु नहीं सुरवास पुरी न राज परिजन साथ जी बुद्ध जाच हूँ तुम भक्ति भव भव दीजिए शिवनाथ जी। बोलो महावीर स्वामी भगवान की जय।
साचा देव की जय, देवाधी देव की जय। हे देव मारा આજથી તારો બનીને જાઉં છું, દિલડાના દેવ મારા દિલ દઈને જાઉં છું, મુજ મનડા કેરી ભક્તિની હું મહેક મુકતો જાઉં છું, અંતરના આપેલ આશીષ અંતરમાં લઈ જાઉં છું, ફરી ફળી મળવાનો તમને કોલ દઈને જાઉં છું, નિભાવવાનો ભાર તારે માથે મૂકતો જાઉં છું, શ્વાસે શ્વાસે સમરીશ એવા સોગંદ લઈને જાઉં છું, જુગ જુગ જીઓ જાજી ખમ્મા ચરણે ચૂમતો જાઉં છું, દાદા ચરણે ચૂમતો જાઉં છું। બોલો શ્રી મહાવીર સ્વામી ભગવાન કી જય। નરેન્દ્રજી બોલીએ આપ અભી।
So Nupurji, I think we can return back to our panel discussion now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, 1 minute. Tomorrow Aarti is Jalpesh Bhai and Arpita Shah.
ભાઈ આ કોકને આરતી લેવી હતી, જો કોઈ ખાલી હોય તો પ્લીઝ।
નથી ખાલી, 2-3 જણને જોઈએ છે, હમણાં ફોન આયા પણ એકેય ખાલી નથી। મેં તમને પેલું સ્કેડ્યુલ બધું મોકલી દીધું ને, એમાં જોઈ લો, નથી એકેય ખાલી। હવે જે કોઈ માંગતું હોય એને કહો પૂજા લેવી હોય તો છે। અમરીશભાઈ, અમરીશભાઈ,
Okay, I think he may have logged out. Is that Naren ji? Okay.
હા બોલો ભાઈ, શું કહો છો?
હા, મેં કોઈને પૂજા જો પૂજા બાકી છે, 4-5 પૂજા બાકી છે।
ઓકે ઓકે, હું કહી દઈશ। ચલો હવે કોઈ પૂછશે તો કહીશ। ઓકે યા
હા, ઓકે, થેન્ક યુ।
ઓકે ચલો બાય। ચલો હું લॉग आउट થાઉં છું। ઓકે
हाँ हाँ ठीक है अमरीश भाई, thank you so much।
Yeah, Jai Jinendra everybody।
Yes,
Okay.
and everybody please stay back for the panel discussion that we are still continuing on. We would go for another till about 8:30 p.m. our time, which would be around 9 a.m. India time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nupurji, yeah, all stage is all yours.
Yeah. Thank you. And everyone who just logged in, we have an interesting panel discussion going on. Our guest, Aradhya ji, Pratiti ji, Anupreksha ji, thank you. And thank you for accommodating the time change. I know Pratiti ji said that she has to leave in about 10 minutes. Is that correct, Pratiti ji? Yeah, so sorry, we didn't plan for this Aarti. So, but I'm glad. Thank you to Aradhya ji and Anupreksha ji. They have agreed to stay till about 8:30 our time, which is 9 a.m. for you in India. So really appreciate your flexibility. And Pratiti ji, I understand. So we will continue with our questions. And I think this is a question I will start with. And actually, let me go back to the audience question, because I want to make sure that we cover audience question first and then get to where we are. So, and want to make sure that the people who ask the questions are still here. I think, yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay. So let me cover these questions first. So the next question is also from a little kid. And the question is there any correlation between Sola current bhavna and Dash Lakshan dharma? Pratiti ji, would you like to take this so we
Sure.
can gain some knowledge from you before you have to leave?
The correlation is just this, that both the solar current bhavna and the Das Lakshan, they both teaches us how to move on the path of the liberation, how to gain more knowledge, how to gain more purity in our attributes. That's the correlation between the Das Lakshan and the solar current bhavna. Basically, the Das Lakshan dharma are those attributes, we can say, which we should have in us, which are in us, but they are not in the pure state. And these destruction Parva or the festival, they uh, came each year just to remind us that these are our attributes and we should make them pure as soon as possible for us. If you will see, other than these uh, 10 attributes of dharma, other than these 10 lakshan, you don't find anything, uh, any other quality which we should have in us. All the qualities which we should follow, which we should have, they all come, they are included in these 10 dharma, in these 10 lakshan. What is Solahikaran Bhavna? It is said that the Tirthankar, before becoming the Tirthankar, when they are the normal person like us, they have the Solahikaran Bhavna. And when they have these solar current bhavna, when they have these 16 types of reflections in their life, afterwards they attain the Tirthankar Prakriti. The Karma Prakriti, they accumulate the Tirthankar Karma Prakriti when they already have reflected those solar current bhavna in their life. Those solar current bhavna, if we can say, they are also included in the Das Lakshan Dharma only, as I have said, that none of the other qualities we have which cannot be included in Das Lakshan Dharma. Everything, every the good, the meritorious virtues we have, they're all included in the Das Lakshan Parv, in the Das Lakshan Dharma. And so the Solar Current Bhavna are also included. If we can say, all the in the Solar Current Bhavna we have that we should have kindness towards the human beings. We should obey the Dev Shastra and Guru. We should we do not have the mithyatva. The very first Solar Current Bhavna is the Darshan Bhavna, which said that we should not have the mithyatva. So basically, if we can say, they are correlated, the Solar Current Bhavna and the Das Lakshan, because in the Das Lakshan, the Shama, Madhav, Arjav, Satya, Samaj, Sanyam, Tap, Tyag, Akinchan, and Brahmacharya, none are the virtues left which we cannot count in these Das Lakshan Dharma. So in that way, Solar Current Bhavna can be related with Das Lakshan Dharma.
Okay. Very well answered, Pratiti ji. Thank you. So it's at the end of the day, we have to follow everything if we want to reach our ultimate goal. And I hope you got the answer to your question. I want to ask, earlier, a couple days back, I was in a conversation, another session like this, and someone was saying that, is Jainism a religion of mere rituals, or someone actually called it like a kitchen religion? Ye nahi khana, wo nahi khana, iska tyag karna, uska tyag karna. So someone said that I feel like Jainism is a kitchen religion. So I actually have a related question from one of the audience, and I will read it. This came from one of the adult attendee, and they're asking that, I would like to understand the reason and benefit of taking a vow, any act or any vow, any kind of vow that we do or not intend to do. So what is the reason and benefit of taking vrat? And we can, I think maybe I want to hear this from all three of you different perspective, because this is a question comes to everyone's mind, right? That we have so many vrat and people do take vrat all the time. So I want to hear from all three of you, and maybe Pratiti ji will start with you. Then
Yeah,
go
sure.
yeah.
Let's start it with an example. I bought a car, and the car has all the leading features in it. It has a good mileage, the design is good, the interior is very good, and whatever the qualities a car should have, a good car should have, it has all the qualities of a good car, but it has just one drawback. And what's that? It doesn't have a brake. Should I buy it or not? It has all the leading features, it has all the best qualities a car should have, but it doesn't have a brake. If I say it in Hindi, the car is bekar. Without a brake, that car is bekar. It's of no use if it doesn't have a brake. Similarly, we are leading a life, we are doing whatever we want, we are earning, we are bringing up our children, we are obeying our parents, all the facilities we are accumulating, which can make our life good, which can call our life a good life, but it doesn't have any control on it. We are eating whatever we are want, we are doing whatever we want. So we think that whatever we are doing is giving us happiness, but it's those happiness which I'm talking about is like the all the good features of a car, but we don't have any control over our life. So what will happen? The car I have bought without a brake, I take it out and I'm driving it, and I'm driving it on a very smooth road, and there are many turns. I'm speeding it, and suddenly a car or any other vehicle come in front of me. What will happen? I don't have a brake. I don't have a brake in my car. What will happen? I will collide it, and there will be an accident. Similarly, right now we are also driving smoothly because nothing is happening in our life, there is no trouble, we are thinking that we don't have any trouble, there is no issues in our life, the life is going very smoothly, the job is good, the family is good, the children are obeying us, the parents are fulfilling our desire, whatever we want, so the life is going smoothly. And that is why we right now we don't know the benefit of having control on our life. And as soon as you are driving and you're speeding, uh, anybody in your family, I don't say like in any other family, there a person, the main person, the earning person is got a very dangerous or life-taking disease, and then the doctor said, you don't have to do this, you don't have to eat this, you have to live a life like this, you have to do the exercise. Now you want that control over you or not? You will do that control for your health, for your body, and for your family. You will do it or not? Similarly, when we talk about the soul, we are doing whatever we want, we are doing all type of things, we are in the passions, in the kashai we are, but at the time when some trouble come over us, we need that control. And these Vrat and Upvas are that kind of control which give us the power how to control over our senses. These senses are our slaves, they are not our owners. But what happens as the life is going, these senses are become the owner and we are become the slaves. What we want to be, we want to become a slave or we want to become an owner? Our eyes want to see that The consciousness saying that no, that's not a good thing to see. The tongue, the taste wants to eat the things which we should not eat. The consciousness, the soul is saying that that is not the good thing to eat. But because of the taste of the tongue, we are eating those things which we should not eat. So to have that control, we are become the owner of our senses and not the slaves. Right now, we are the slaves and not the owner. Have you ever flight a kite? You know how to fly a kite? Yes. Uh, I have a string that in my hand, and the kite is floating in the sky. Okay. Now, if I break that string, what will happen? The kite will float for some time on the sky and then it will come down. Yes, the light, right now we are floating in the sky because we have everything. And that string is that Vrat and Upvas, that control. And when we don't have that control over us, that means we are weakening that string. And after a time, that string will be broken. And in the same way, the kite has came down, the life also came down. So we need a control over our life. We need to become an owner of our senses. And these Rat and Upas are the first step to become the owner of our senses and to have the control over our life.
Very, very well answered, Pratiti ji. Thank you for sharing. That was the control. We need to learn how to control so we are ready for any situation. So I will move to Aradhya ji. What is your thought on this? So what is the reason and benefit for Vrat?
In addition to control, I feel it is also about commitment. So there are different kinds of Niyam Vrat, and each and every have got a different agenda. Few of them will be focusing on commitment. To explain this, I will just give you an example initially, and then I will directly get to the concept. So when I started working, I was very confused. All of this is just imaginative, nothing concrete. So when I started working, I was so confused that first I started working in a particular industry. I understood that industry, and then I got bored. So I thought, okay, now I'm done with this industry. I will jump to another industry. I started understanding those things. Once I got a hang of that industry, I got bored. I jumped on another industry. I kept on hoping among all the industries. Now tell me, will I be ever able to
Okay, just a second, Aradhya ji, sorry. Yeah, thank you, Pratiti ji. On behalf of Jain Center of Southern California, I really want to thank you for your time. Appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Jai Shrindra. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you so much, Pratiti ji.
Okay, Aradhya ji, sorry. Continue, please.
Yeah. So what I was talking about is it is at the same time about commitment. If I keep on focusing on different areas, if I keep on focusing on different areas, if I keep on hopping in different industry, will I be ever become an expert in a particular industry? Will I ever be successful in anything? Will you like to marry your daughter to such a person? So you need certain kind of a commitment, right? So what do you do is you close your options. The options which you close are those options which you are aware that you are never ever going to use them. I don't know how many of you can relate to this, but if you have ever seen a horse which is running in a race, you know, they have got certain kind of a blinders like this. The reason of those blinders is pretty much simple. If you do not have a blinders in front of a horse, he will just get distracted. He will never be able to complete that race. He will never be able to reach his destination. So having a blinders does not mean that you are limiting yourself. It just means that you're focusing on the end goal which you want to achieve. So niyam, vrat, sanyam, all of those things are those blinders which helps you to focus on your soul, on achieving salvation, on understanding the key qualities of the soul. Instead of keeping on distracting from point A to B to C to D to E to F to G and so on. Now, let us understand from where does this Christian religion comes from. When you follow something without any objective, so it's like this, ki when you don't understand the religion, when you don't understand the concept, when you don't understand the basic fundamental or logic behind a particular thing, and you still keep on following it, that time it becomes a race without an objective, a blinder without a purpose. The purpose is there. It is just that you are not aware about it. And hence you feel ki, okay, I have a blinder which is without a purpose. I will give an example. As a kid, you will tell your kids ki, okay, you should, if given a choice after 10th, you should take science, not commerce, not arts. Why? Because if you choose arts, then you are blocking your options which will open in commerce and science. But if you choose science, you have got an option to go back and choose your commerce and also your arts. Now, if I say my child, no, you have to take science only, how will he feel? Oh, I am forced to do it. I do not have, why should I do it? That is exactly what is happening with us. So we need to have blinders, but at the same time, we should also need to understand it, because when we understand it, it will no longer remain a kitchen religion. It will become a very, very meaningful religion. So apart from your control, it is also about commitment. And it is also about how are you going to achieve your goal, your end destination. So I will leave it over here to take it forward by Anupreksha ji.
Yes, please, Anupreksha ji.
It was very well explained by Aradhya ji and Pratidhi ji. I would like to take it from a very different point of view. So I'll start with the kitchen. Is it a kitchen religion? ये नहीं खाना, ये नहीं करना, रात को खाना नहीं खाना, छना हुआ पानी पीना, और भी समझ लीजिए कि रोज के मसाले पिसे हुए यूज करना, आटा रोज का पिसा हुआ या मर्यादा के अंदर यूज करना. All of this, we feel that there is so much to do. Now, my question to you is, okay, this is not your question to me. I am, cross-questioning you. Is our religion about doing? अभी तक हमने जितना समझा है, जितना भी पढ़ा है, is our religion about doing? ये करना और ये नहीं करना? Then why do we give so much importance to all of this? Is the main question, right? सबसे पहले तो everybody knows this, that our religion is about akartavad and not kartavad. I'll give you a very, very superficial example. That अगर आपके सामने non-vegetarian food रखा हो, if you are offered non-vegetarian food, do you go and eat it? आपको रोकना पड़ता है अपने को. Do you have to stop yourself from eating? नहीं, I have to control myself. This is something that I should not do. Is this that you have to explain to yourself? Or automatically it comes to you that I don't want to eat it. मेरी इच्छा नहीं है खाने की. What happens? Practically what happens? I mean, I need an answer. Then I'll go ahead. Do you stop yourself from doing it or you just don't want to do it? इच्छा नहीं उत्पन्न होना, उसका नाम धर्म है. I'm sorry for that. अपने आप को कंट्रोल करना is not धर्म. Is everyone okay with Hindi or I should just continue with English?
I think we still have some kids listening. Any kids? Do you not understand Hindi? Anyone who is still here?
I can do it in English because I couldn't see anybody. I can only see, elder people here. So I thought that I'll just continue in Hindi. But all right. So what I'm trying to say is that controlling yourself is not religion. Reframing yourself from doing something is not religion. That kind of, the want should not occur inside you. आपको वो इच्छा उत्पन्न नहीं होनी चाहिए. That is the real religion. Because when you start saying that I have to control myself, I have to do something, it goes to kartava, that I can do something. And the basis of Jainism is that you cannot do anything. So as soon as we, try to focus on that, I have to do this, 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 the whole concept of Jainism is wrong. That is what we have made it. That is not what Jainism tells us. Jainism says that something, when you understand that this is something which is not good, this is something which is harmful for me, then automatically that ichha stops. Like when if somebody who is a chain smoker, it's an example that everybody has heard multiple times. Okay, if I'm a chain smoker and the doctor says that this is affecting your lungs and you need to stop it, what do? First thing that you do is on the level of Shraddha, you say that this is not good for me. Then as soon as you understand that this is not good for me, will the chain smoking stop right away? No, because the person who smokes 30 cigars a day, this next day he will not stop smoking cigars. It will take time gradually for him to reach to that level from 30 to 25 to 20 to 15 to 10 to 5 to probably 1 a day. But on the level of Shraddha, does he know that it is harmful or not? In the Pancham Kal or right now, or what Jainism says is that all that you have to do is that of Shraddha, on the level of, what do you call Shraddha? Belief, on the level of belief. You just have to believe what is right and what is wrong. And the charitra, the
behavior.
Excuse me?
Behavior.
The behavior will follow. You don't need to force yourself to do charitra. It will automatically follow when you change your Shraddha. So, when we talk about eating this or not eating this or doing this or not doing this, all of that is on the level of Shraddha. And once that happens on the level of Shraddha, charitra will automatically follow. You do not have to force yourself to do it. The whole problem, the whole question comes where we feel that we have to force ourselves कि हमको रात को नहीं खाना, हमें ये नहीं करना, हमें वो नहीं करना. But here, once you understand why it is not good for you, all of the other things will follow. And the only thing that we need to focus right now is in these 10 days and the days coming is focus on the level of Shraddha, and everything else will follow. And then we will not have this question whether it is Charitra or not, or whether it is a kitchen ka dharma or not.
अमेजिंग अमेजिंग अनुप्रेक्षा जी, मतलब खोल के रख दिया आपने, क्योंकि वही है, दैट इज द जिस्ट ऑफ इट. श्रद्धा में अगर आ गया हमारे तो अपने आप छूट जाएगा. इट विल, वी डोंट हैव टू लीव इट. व्हाटएवर छोड़ना है वो अपने आप छूट जाएगा. So if I have to summarize this conversation and then we can go to follow-up questions. हाँ, Ashish ji, please.
Sorry to interrupt, but if I may ask and take
Sure.
But thank you, Aradhya ji, thank you, Anupeksha ji, and thank you, Pratiti ji. She left, but appreciate the answers you provided. I would like to add on to that with an example. So we don't eat non-veg and we don't have any bhav to eat non-veg. But it is said that if you don't take a vow to never eat non-veg, the entire world has this, whoever eats non-veg or kills animals, you are still attracting the karmas. And unless you take vow, you're not detaching yourself. That's the example.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is correct, because as Aradhi ji said that we want to keep all our options open. We are never going to eat non-vegetarian food in our life, but we still want to keep our options open. कि कभी जरूरत पड़ गई तो. That's the reason why we want to keep our options open, right? That's the reason to take a vow.
Not necessarily. I'm sorry to interject, but not necessarily. Like I personally feel I don't want to ever eat, and this is very easy example to take a vow. But then there are certain things where you can say we want to keep our options open. But in this scenario, I never want to eat. I have no intention. And
then what is the problem in taking the vow?
So I'm
questioning you. I'll give you the answers later.
I can take the vow. I want to understand that scientific part where we take Digvrat to ensure that we do not get the karma beyond our knowledge or part of our knowledge. So how does it work actually is what I want to understand. But I don't reject the theory. I'm in favor of taking it. I just want to understand it.
I understand. So again, I'll come back to the same thing where I started, that we want to keep our options open. It might not be true for you in some scenarios, but say today I personally, I have not taken any vrat for not eating non-veg. All right. So how do I keep my options open? That I can go to any non-vegetarian place and I can eat. I can eat vegetarian in a non-vegetarian place. Where the options open to me are that agar galti se aa gaya, so it's okay. But when you take a vow, that galti is not allowed. That is what I'm saying, that we want to keep our options open. When I say that I have not taken a vrat, I have my options open of anybody providing me with any food and I can eat it without any questioning. That's why I don't want to take a vrat. I'm talking about myself, nobody else here. When I say that I don't want to, I will not take a vrat for Ratri Bhojan, but I will not eat in the night. That means that if there is any time that I need, so if I am unwell and after a couple of years, if I need to take medicine, and for that, if there is something required to eat, then I want to keep my options open. What happens is when you keep your options open, back of your mind, subconsciously, you're telling yourself, like if you're not taking a vow, you're telling yourself that it is okay to do all of this. And because subconsciously you're telling yourself it is okay, you accumulate the pap because of that. Related to that. When I am not going to fly during COVID times, I was never going to fly to US. I don't even have a visa. Okay, but I didn't take a vow. By chance, if something happens, if a miracle happens, and I have to, my father flies, and I am intending to fly with him for the last couple of years, but because of some or the other reason, I cannot. But I don't take a vow. Why? Because I want to keep my options open. Because I'm keeping my options open, subconsciously, I know that I want to do it, and because subconsciously I want to do it, I'm accumulating all that karma. So the importance of taking a vow, kshetra wise, is, distance wise, your in food, in whatever, there are so many Digvrat, Deshvrat, multiple sub divisions in that, is that for that time period, you are not accumulating all, you're closing your options and you're not accumulating all that power because of possibilities of doing it. And do you get it?
It is very helpful. Thank you so much. It makes a lot more sense.
Okay. So this was wonderful question. I hope it answered a lot of answers for questions for everyone. If I have to summarize the whole conversation, or before that, Aradhya, would you like to add anything else, or?
I believe everything has been covered.
Okay. Okay.
So it is more or less like a blinder. Nothing more than that. Because subconsciously, if you have that option available, then there is a possibility that you may get distracted. Another thing is that when you have taken a vow, you will be careful at each and every step. So since all of you, majority of you are from USA, how many times when you go out and buy a chocolate or any food item, do you go and read the content? You always do. And yet I will tell you that you will miss the content. I will tell you why. If you have taken a vow, you are going to research those terms which are mentioned over there in terms of a chemical name or a ingredient in a technical names. So when you are going to research those technical names, you will understand that those particular ingredients are derived from a non-vegetarian source only. While reading it, you will not find anything which is raising a red flag. But since you have not taken any kind of a vow, you are fine to go ahead, because primarily on a prima facie level, there is nothing wrong. But if you have taken a vow, if you find anything which is in a term that you don't understand, which you are not sure about, you will by default research it, because you have taken a vow. You are going to be extra precautious in each and every step.
Yeah.
This is from a very, I've been to Australia, and in one of the visit, there was one of the biscuit which was very common in most of the Jain families. Almost every Jain family had that biscuit. On reading the content, I found out there was one critical component which was a name of a protein. I researched that. It just came on a Google as it is a kind of a protein. But when I checked from where it is derived from a fish. It was a green mark, because as per regulation, if it is a protein, you can use a green mark. So there are n number of multiple precautions which you end up taking if you have taken a vow. So the importance is from multiple angles. Like Anupeksha ji said, it is about you focusing on what your nature is. It is not, your nature is not focused on this Pudgal Dravyas, this outside or non-soul elements. Your focus needs to be on the soul. Like Pratiti ji said, it's all about control, so that you are controlling your senses, so that you can focus your knowledge on your own soul. It is all about commitment, that you're committed to know your own soul. So it's all about it.
Yeah. So I think you have summarized it well, Aradhya ji. So I won't repeat it again. Control, commitment, akartavad, इच्छा ही नहीं होना चाहिए, and then being careful. I have one more question, and I know we are nearing our time as well. One more question from one of the audience. And the question is, and this is a little bit of changing track here. The question goes, how can we go to Bhog Bhumi? Can we attain moksha from Bhog Bhumi?
No, we cannot attain moksha from Bhog Bhumi. Bhog Bhumi, so anybody can go to Bhog Bhumi, even Bharat Kshetra and Erawat Kshetra, because I mean, you know, Krish is not here, but we had taken the whole Chhe Kal couple of days back, and for all the kids. So there are 6 Kals, and the first, second, and the third Kal is a Bhog Bhumi, even in Bharat Kshetra and Erawat Kshetra. And there are Bhog Bhumis inside the Dhai Dweep, which are constantly Bhog Bhumis. Now, when you accumulate Punya, you go to Bhog Bhumi. Like when you accumulate Punya, you go to Swar. But from Bhog Bhumi and from Swar, from both the places, you cannot go to Moksha.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, we cannot attain moksha. So we have maybe 2 or 3 more minutes. Does anyone wants to ask a question? Maybe the last one, or I can ask one of the question that I have. But I want to give a chance to any of the audience. If not, so one question that always comes to a lot of people's mind is, if you compare Jainism, and again I'm going to the religion portion, with other religions, the Jainism, especially the Agam language, the language that is in our scriptures, Agam, seems to be very difficult. And other religions, if you read or listen to their gurus or anyone, it's more simplified. So is it true that the Jain Agam language is very difficult and it's not for the normal people like us? Or is there a way to make it easy? What is your thought on that? And maybe we can start with Aradhya ji first.
Okay. You know what? I find Chinese very difficult. I don't understand that language at all. The curvatures, I don't know what it is. But if you go and ask anybody from the China, what would they say? The point which I'm trying to make over here is that whenever there is any religion, or if there is anything which we want to communicate, there are 2 elements in it. One element is the content, another element is the language. So when we are talking about the content is for all, it is for every time, it is for always be there, because the content consists of knowledge or information about the nature of the soul. Like Patiti had said it earlier, it is all about the nature, the natural characteristics of the elements like Atma. The second part which you're talking about is the language. So the language, if you have seen it few years back, when Sanskrit was the prominent language of the land, all the granths, each and everything was in Sanskrit. When it changed to Hindi, the most of the literature or the most of the granths, they got converted into that particular language of the masses or language of the land. Similarly, now since there are a lot of people, Jain people who have moved to US, and they have got their second and third generation who have got difficulty in understanding Hindi, and they want somebody who can come and teach in English. That is where we have started sessions in English language. So if you look at it from a point of view of a language as well as from the content, The content is same. The content is irrespective of the language. At the same time, the language will always remain of the masses. Having said that, if you want to learn something, if you want to understand a particular area, what is that you do in your day-to-day life, in the materialistic world, in the career perspective? If I want to go and work in Germany, what do? I learn German, right? I don't go and say that, oh, it's so difficult, they don't speak English. So it's an effort from both the sides. You need to identify the tutors, the experts who can explain you in your language. At the same time, there are teachers, there are people who are willing to explain in your language. One of the key elements which I will also like to share over here is Nyay. So each and every language has got its own grammar, its own way of structuring a sentence, its own way of presenting it. In the same manner, the religion has got Nyay, which is nothing else but it is just a simple way of structuring the content and presenting it in front of you. The challenge arises when you don't understand the grammar or the structure. So that is where the main issue arises.
Right.
I will leave, since we have got limited time, I will leave for Anupreksha ji to take it forward.
Yeah, no, thank you, Aradhya ji. I think you have described it well. And I want to add that Nyaya is something that no one studies. And once you study Nyaya, then you can understand the structured, organized logic behind Jainism. So, Anupreksha ji, what is your thought on this? And there is a quick follow-up question as well. Is Bhog Bhumi better or Swarg? If you can also answer that, and the answer to the difficulty of Jainism as well.
No, I think Aradhya ji has covered everything very nicely. I mean, I was going to give the same example talking about Java. How many of you are engineers here? So any language, we have to control it to understand the actual depth of it. We just can't say it is too difficult. So if we really have the itcha to understand something, we have to understand that language. We have to understand that nyay as the logic of that language, as very well interpreted by Aradhya ji. So no excuses there.
Okay, there's no shortcut.
So either you learn the language, or you identify a teacher who can explain the same concept in your language.
You will not believe, Aradhya is my younger brother. Both of us are from Bombay. Till 10th, we have only studied in English. When we went to Jaipur to study, especially me, I didn't even write Q key properly. I didn't know the spelling of Q key in Hindi because we started Hindi after 5th. It was difficult. I mean, that's something that, you do. We took up Sanskrit and we had to learn that language. Kids over there, they take French, they take German, they have to learn that. It is difficult in the start, but later it becomes like a cup of tea. It's very easy. So it's just giving a little bit of time and energy there to achieve what you want.
Yeah. And I think that's why I think some of the parents are here or grandparents are here. It's important here in United States that we teach our kids Hindi and Sanskrit, because otherwise they will not be able to understand the essence of the Agam and the Jainism.
In Germany, everybody learns Sanskrit. I mean, because they say that the derivation of so many things, computer language is also from Sanskrit. So they make sure that they are learning Sanskrit. So for I would just say that for Lokik, things that we really put in all our effort, if we think that something is good for us in the future, it would be really nice if we can put a little bit of effort, not too much, because we have so many things available right now in English also, and in Hindi and in Gujarati, whoever is Gujarati, because your mother tongue over there is still Gujarati. So we make sure that the kids are still, understanding Gujarati.
Yeah.
So little bit of effort there, and it'll be very easy for you in the future. But having said that, animals don't have any language. They don't understand Hindi, Sanskrit, or whatever, but still they can attain Samyak Darshan. So even if you don't know Hindi, Sanskrit, if you understand the essence in whatever language you can still attain Samyak Darshan. It is not impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. So is Bhog Bhumi is better or Swarg is better?
None. That is the obvious answer that everybody would expect. But I would still like to add that there is no dharma in Bhog Bhumi, because we have all the facilities available. We are so engrossed in enjoying whatever is there, that jo ichha hui, kalpavraksh se mangi, and then we get it, right? So there is absolutely no dharma in Bhog Bhumi. But there is, if you are in the higher swarg, there is still options of dharma or dharma charcha in swarg. Okay, so maybe, but ultimately neither, because you cannot go to moksha from either of the places.
Yeah. Nothing is better than Siddhashila. That should be our ultimate destination. We all should strive for. So with that, I think we are over our time, and I think Aradhya ji and Anupreksha ji, you have to go also. It's office time there. So really appreciate your time again, and thank you for answering our questions. Thank you for being becoming part of this Jain Center in Southern California. So I thank you on behalf of all the committee members as well. Naren ji, would you like to say any last words before we end this panel discussion? And thank you again, Aradhya ji, Anupreksha ji, and I wish Pratiti ji was here. Thanks to her as well.
No, from my side and from the Jain Center of Southern California side, I see Salil Bhai Sahab also being here. He's a executive committee member as well. But yeah, I truly appreciate all the insights that you have given in very, very basic terms. And I'm pretty sure Antara is here and Pragya is here, and they would have really gotten to understand what you people were trying to communicate. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Jai Jinendra, everyone. Can we end with Namokar mantra? Maybe Antara or Pragya, do you want to say Namokar mantra? Go ahead, Antara. Yeah, Antara, go ahead.
Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahonam, Eso Panchanamokaro, Savapava Panasano, Maglanam Cha Savdesim, Parinam Havai Mangalam. Jai Jinendra, thank you. I learned a lot.
Jai Jinendra. I'm
Jai
glad.
Jinendra, everybody.